Hey there, so we are going to create a financial statement in Google Sheets but from Xero. So once you get to Xero, we're going to go to reports, and what we want to do is put out the trial balance. And we're going to put out a few trial balances because we're going to use that movement to help us cover the balance. Sorry, John. Let's go to trial balance new. And then let's go to end of Feb. Let's export to Google Sheets. There you go. While that's loading, let's do end of Jan as well. We'll do the first few months of the year. Export Google Sheets. And end of December. So we're going to do end of December onwards for a few months, so that way we get January, February, March. So we've done December, January, February. Let's do March. Just going to pause while that loads. Okay, so that's all loaded. So let's go to December. We'll copy this. Don't need the bottom total. I'm going to keep the headings to help me get the structure right. Okay, so once I've copied that in, I'm just pasting it as it is. The first thing that I'm going to want is we've got debits and credits, and I want that in one column. So I'm going to call that movement and do debit less credit. Then I'm going to do period or month, and I always like the first of the month, so I'm going to put the 1st of September 2020. Nope, the first one that I grabbed was December. So this column we don't actually need, we're just ignoring that. So that was December. And then we also want to then categorize these based on P&L and balance sheet. Let's create another tab. Just call this list. This is the only sort of fiddly thing. I won't do that now. I'll leave that for later. So far we've just got month and movement. So then let's get the other one. So that was December, January. So now I don't need the headers because we've already created that. I'm going to put a space between them just so I can put the arm easy. So that was Jan. And this was a formula. Let's put that down. And I'm just going to fix the heading. So let's fix that. Today formula, and this is a, just type that in. I'm just going to highlight that yellow so we know that anything yellow will happen. And then this stuff is just data from Xero. Okay, so that was, let's go Feb next. So let's update that. And then the last one is March. There we go. Okay, so now let's create our financial statement. So the first thing we want is we want all the GL. So let's just do a unique for now. Unique of code, and I'm going to do that all the way to the bottom. code, and then account name. So here I could just do the same, but I'm going to extract that with an index match. So let's extract the account. If we can match it against the code, I'm just put a little placeholder there for the moment, and now let's fill that in. There we go. So let's put a year. So we want January, and we want, because I've put every month in the first of the month, I'm going to use the end of month formula +1 to give you the first day of the next month. Let's sum that. So we're going to sum the movement each month. If the month matches our month, so I'm just going to put a placeholder there for month. And if the account code equals account code, I'm just going to put a placeholder for the moment. And in here, I'm going to replace that placeholder with the month and then fix it. So it just stays along the headings and the account. I'm going to fix it as well. So it's the $signs. Keeps in one place. There we go. And then format that as a number. And then I'm just going to put a little check up here because we should have. Should add up to 0. Ooh. Because it's still same counts as the TB, so that should all be 0. So this really is just sort of a consolidated TB. But what we could do next is we could split this out between profit and loss and balance sheet. So let's just make it easier for ourselves. I'm going to put the account type, and I'm going to take this formula. Let's fix that B5. So as I copy it across, the formula doesn't break. And instead of looking for the sales, for the account of sales, which is this one, account, we're going to take the account type, which is column C. So let's replace that with column C. There we go. So these are the these are the P&L accounts. So let's take those. We're going to have, let's call this the profit and loss. And then underneath, we're going to take the other accounts, and this is going to be balance sheet. And this still works. Just bring this down. And also, these formulas still work. Right, so this might be a little bit confusing why we've duplicated it. So the first bit is just so that we know that we've got all the accounts. So there's a little check, and we know that these are all the accounts we have. And now we're going to split them apart, and we're going to make them, we're going to change them a little bit because it doesn't quite make sense to have the balances for the profit and loss. When you're looking at the profit and loss, you kind of want to see what the movement was within the month to make sense of it. So to do that, if we wanted the balance for, let's bring this down for the moment. If you wanted the balance in January, you have the movement in January, you've got to compare the difference between the end of Jan and the beginning of Jan. So to do that, we're going to make this a little bit more complicated. So we're going to take, we're going to say, what we're going to put a column for the last month, and that will be end of the month before, no, minus 1. So there we go, and then this one. So December less 2 months would be October, and because it gives you the end of October, we add 1 to give you the 1st of November. There we go, and then if we want to see the in-month movement, let's call this debit, let's credit, and this is month-on-month movement. Okay, so if we went to Jan, the cumulative revenue was 2,083, whereas the month before was 1,250. So really, we kind of want to sum 1,250, do this less 1,250. So in this cell, to get the 1,250, we're going to do sum of this column, because we want that one, that if the month is this one, and if the account code equals that one. So it's saying it's going to look for the account code, so it's going to try and sum that one and that one, but we're looking at just last month, so it should just sum that one. Yeah, 1,250, which is that. And now we're going to do this. There you go. So that's the sales for January. So let's copy that down. We're happy with our formula. We want it on everything. We just did one example to mean that we did it right. These are just because there's empty rows, so we can just ignore those. Okay, so in here, let's do, in here, it's currently summing column H. Instead of column H, we want it to sum column K. I'm just going to do that. There we go, we can see the sales month and month. It's a good thing to check this in another place if this is the first time you're doing it. So if you go to Xero and you go to accounting and open profit and loss, we want to see what the profit and loss is for January. So let's go first to end. First, the end of Jan. Wrong year, 21. There we go, 833. Which matches what we've got there. So okay, so we can be quite happy that this is correct. And then for the balance sheet, we do want to see the balances each month. So your bank account, you want to know what the total balance is each month, and then you can. I guess that's how I'd want to see it. So profit and loss, you want to see the movement month for month, and then the balance sheet, you want to see the totals and the balances for each account. Okay, so I think we've run out of time for today, but essentially the next step would be to create a cash flow with these. So I'll stop there and we'll do a cash flow next time.